today at Drone Tech Asia 2025. We are live from MITEC Kuala Lumpur. So here with me today, we have Shafiq and Shazwan, which is a sales engineer at Aonic. And this panel session, we will want to understand a little bit more about what's happening on the ground, like how are drones being used, how are industrial solutions being used by real clients, real use cases. So before we start, can I get Mr. Shazwan here to share a little bit what does he actually at Aonic?
Thank you, Erin. So I think before that, I'm excited to be here. I think because this is the biggest thing in drone tech as ever, and I'm really excited to have my enthusiasts here coming here in both about drone related solutions. So yeah, but to introduce about myself, the audience that know about me, my name is Amish Azwan. I'm the sales engineer lead in Aonic Sdn Bhd. So basically what I'm doing is I'm the overview for the technical, the industrial verticals. So I need to make sure that the solution is based on across the industry.
So how long have you been working at Aonic?
So I've been working with Aonic almost 5 years. So I think it's been since early days, the adoption of the drone way different compared to I think to this date. So it's been an honor for me to be part of the drone industry player, for 5 years already.
Okay, so you've been here for some time and it has been around for about 10 years. So I do have a lot of questions even to how it's changed so far. Let's go to Shafiq first. Shafiq, I understand that you work very closely with Shazwan here. Can you share a little bit, what do you actually do at Aonic as a sales engineer?
So basically, let's start over from the beginning since I joined Aonic. So my first position was, by the way, I'm Shafiq Arif. So my first position was, I'm actually a drone trainer where I train the equipments based on the purchase of the user. So once the user purchase a specific equipment, then I'll train them based on that equipment. But then moving on after quite a couple of years, so I've then changed my position to senior project executive. So this is where I tend to focus more on the key customers where defining and understanding their operations are very crucial. And this is the part where I will be providing, once I understand their issues, and I'll be then providing a tailored solutions for the end users to understand and utilize and provide efficient solutions for them. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Shafiq. So, also know that you came from a background that is not drones, and then you went into drones. I think a lot of us here are like that because drone industry is so new. So perhaps to let our audience and of course our people in Drone Tech Asia here know, because we have a lot of enthusiasts like what Shazwan mentioned. How did you actually, venture into the industry, and then how did you actually grow within the industry? Maybe both of you can share a little bit.
So sorry again, what's the question?
Sure. So it's just for the audience out there, they are very keen to join the industry, very new about, just heard about the drone industry or just very excited, but not sure like how do they actually venture into it. Perhaps Shazwan, you can share a little bit like
Yeah.
how did you
Yeah, sure,
enter,
of course. I think for right now, in terms of the drone or any technology informations, you can search a lot the drone adoption and technology across the internet. You can just Google it up, or you can take a look at any video on the YouTube. You can even join, our social media platform. We have through the YouTube, and we have the Facebook and also LinkedIn. So you can join us and follow us. We have a lot of very exciting event, exhibitions, technology sharing, webinar. We go through a lot. I think there's a lot of insight, kind of technology adoption that you can learn a lot from there. So yeah, do follow us on the any social media. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what Shazwan just mentioned on highlighting the awareness for you all, I would say our social media would be wiser for you all to refer on. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, It's all linked together for you to know and learn more about Aonics, and not only Aonics, what we provide and what are the things that could makes you interest in your future, future business development or any innovation that you wanted to do with Aonic. Yeah.
I think I just want to add on that is that, for example, like the user really keen to know, they know the potential of the drone adoption, but they doesn't know who to consult with. I think with our experience as the Aonic on behalf, we have a very expert like Shafiq, me and myself and the team. So we can just drop by or contact us. We can do the consult and make sure that your challenge can be solved with the adoption of the drone on your operation, on your workflow. Yeah, so there's a lot of technology that we can utilize and offer to you. Yep.
So sorry, we have some technical difficulties, so we'll share this. And thanks for sharing, where to find information about Aonic. I think most importantly is really to hear from us directly, and we can actually guide you, even if it's on a career side of things, on your business side of things, or just on your operations. So do reach out to us, whether it's in our WhatsApp, Facebook, just reach out to us and we're happy to help. All right, so Shazwan, I promise that I'm going to ask you a question regarding your experience because you've been here for 5 years. Perhaps you can share since you started and looking back, what has changed in the industry in terms more of client demand? What are they looking for?
Okay, so when we talk about demand and what have changed across the year, for the industry-based solution, we serve a lot of industry. So to mention few of it is number one, the public safety, and then we have the survey and NEC, engineering, constructions, and then we have the energy and utilities. We have the oil and gas, and not to forget the agriculture also. So across the industry, they have a very different kind of a demand application that we can tailor it with. So, for example, I would say the biggest kind of industry among them is the survey industry. So, for example, like the survey, there's a lot of demands such as they want to know the elevation data on the land. Okay, so how are we going to tackle on this? There's a lot of way and technology that have currently in the market. Number one, the photogrammetry drone. It can capture an image and create a big map, and then from the software, we can do a lot of analysis from there. So we have like a surface modeling, we have the terrain modeling, we have the contouring. So all this information can be done by utilizing the drone technology and with the help of the software to get all the, kind of say, very crucial data that you can obtain with. If you want to compare, for example, like the drone adoption compared to the traditional way of surveying, is that drone able to capture is very big area. In terms of the efficiency, coverage per flight, we can cover way bigger. For example, there's a one site. I think there's a one project I think quite interesting to talk about. We have a very big project. This project is basically the user want to build a hydro dam across the river. So Aonic, we have the responsibility to handle the project, and we deploy our very expert team, drone pilot team, and our processing team to conduct this project. So basically what we do, we plan out a proper way to tackle this kind of issue on the site, how the accessibility, how the acquisition gonna be made and all. Yep, at the end, yeah, we successfully able to tackle this and offer what the demand and the requirement from the user itself. Yeah, but talking back to what I'm trying to say is, in terms of the efficiency compared to the conventional way, drone able to cover at least 100 hectare per flight, which you can get around 30 minutes. You can cover 100 hectare of land. You know all the terrain. Compared to the traditional way, you need a one manpower to cover like 100 hectare. At least 1 week, you need to able to cover that. So this is where the adoption of drone is very critical and able to, yeah, serve this kind of efficiency compared to the traditional way.
Yeah, thanks, Shaz, for the detailed explanation. I think from what I'm hearing is people are looking more on the analytics things, a lot more of different applications. Of course, there are key industries like what you mentioned, whether it's agriculture, surveying, construction, energy sector. Those are the key sectors that we see in the region. So I think just now you also mentioned that Aonic, we have professionals or a very skilled staff that does the planning, yeah, and all that. And it's actually quite challenging when we go into not just a new location, but a new application, new equipment, new technology. So maybe Shafiq, since you do work very closely with Shazwan on a lot of different projects as well, can you share with me, maybe you can look back and think like what is a very memorable or challenging moment in field that or just something that you would like to share with the audience because maybe they can't imagine, how does a drone operate in real life?
Alright, so let me share you one stories. When me and my team, we have the opportunity to work together with one of the companies related to the estate, and what they are trying to approach to us is that they are trying to ask for an assistant from our side to provide an aerial surveillance where finding and monitoring the wildlife trespassing into their properties. So there's one scenario, I would say one story from us where we've already arrived in this one location, and then the operation takes about 2 days, 1 night. No, 3 days, 2 night. So this whole operation, 3 days, 2 night, the challenges that we have faced is that, of course, going to a very dense, high dense terrain, going to the site to find a clear location to take off. That's one, but it's not really major. But the things that are major is the data that we are collecting. So the data that we are trying to collect are to monitor or finding the wildlife, especially an elephant. So there's an elephant. It happens, I would say, not regularly, but seasonally. So this is where an elephant, wildlife elephants, they trespass, even though there's a fence, but they still trespass the fence and then overcome all the obstacles that has provided from the property. So this is where the elephants go into the property, and then what they've done is that they are trying to let the, I would say, the youngsters to eat and learn on taking the young, I would say, younger crops. So there's an oil palms around there, and then there's a younger version of the oil palms. So this is where the adult elephants teach the youngsters to eat and bring out the crops from the original plantations. So this is where they require us to use the drones to find using a thermal interface, and also night vision interface, and also a spotlight. But then this whole operations, there are no whatsoever data we have been collected. And then what happens is that we are trying to provide a next solutions in order to overcome this. So what things that we learn is that before going to the site, plan first, read the movement of the wildlife, you know the pattern how it is. Once you know the pattern and when it will comes out, and then you go to the site and bring a proper equipment. So some of the equipments that we bring are mostly, of course, the drones, but some of it is insufficient batteries. So when it comes to insufficient batteries, this is where the crucial part of operations. When the batteries run out, you don't have enough batteries to cover the area, and then suddenly the wildlife shows up. So what can you do? You just look, and then you cannot get the data from the drones. You just look and then remember it through your experience. That's all. So that's the funny things, and one of the challenge that we face. So there's also things that I would say minor things that we face challenge is that uh, when we try to prepare items or equipments, we need an authorized, like a lot of infos, and then authorized ATF to take off an area. So at that times, a lot of things like equipment is insufficient. So one of it, like propeller, has been dent. So the movement of the drones slightly shifted. So this is one of the factors. Would make the data would be less information, Yeah, so that is all. That is only one of the challenge that uh, I would like to share with you. But there are a lot of things that I can share throughout my careers with Aonic. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Shafi. I think for sure that it has been a very colorful and very interesting experience just to look at elephants. So, say for example, taking your experience now, remembering to bring more batteries, get the right equipment, planning your route because the hard terrain. If you were to go back to map Thelma to find elephants, you should be able to do it right now, yeah? Okay, thank you so much, Shafiq. So when we are at Drone Tech Asia, we see so many different drone companies, there's so many different equipment out there, and a lot of people ask us, what does Aonic actually do, especially Aonic Industrial as well. And I think throughout the years, we as Aonic is known to sell DJI enterprise equipment. Perhaps this question is for Shazwan. What's the relationship? What do we do? What's the difference? And also perhaps share a little bit what is the strength of Aonic as a company.
Yeah, sure. Of course. I think Aonic and DJI Enterprise is two different entities
Sure.
completely. Aonic is the local Malaysian company that we are the drone industry player since the early day. That's what we are focusing on. And for the DJI, they are the, I would say, a reputable drone player manufacturer company, globally well known. So, what are the relation between Aonic and DJI Enterprises? Especially is that Aonic, since we are the local company here, we are the face of the company, and we know what's the feedback, the requirement from the local here, from the Malaysia, the user itself. So we know what are their pinpoint it is. So with the technology that have in the market right now, provided from the DJI, we help to uh, bring the technology inside the Malaysian market or the Southeast Asia market. So our local user able to utilize what already been implemented globally other country from the other country. So I think since the early day for the segment of the industrial, we are the, I would say, reputable distributor for the DJI enterprise to bring all their technology here in the local Malaysian market. Yep. So I think that's where we can differentiate between Aonic as a local company and DJI as a reputable global well-known.
Thanks for explaining that. What about like strengths of Aonic? Maybe both of you can share just one thing when you go to a end user or a potential client. Uh, what is it that they say? This is done really well at Aonic.
Yeah, I think because another point to point out is that Aonic as a local brand again, with our experience that we have, we know what's the pain point. But not only that, we provide the, would say, I think the keyword is end-to-end drone solution provider. Yeah, by leveraging the technology that have not only locally but the globally known brand out there. So we provide not only just a distribution of the product, the adoption of the technology, and also we provide the training. I think Shafi also mentioned just now, we provide all the training. We need to make sure that the operator here, when they purchase the equipment, they know how to fly from A to Z. That's, I think, the crucial part of it. We are the reputable training provider. I think we work together with the Drone Academy Asia as the certified training organization from the CAM. Okay. And then another one to, I think, to point out is that we the after sales, from the after sales part, I think this is what differentiates us between the others, where not only just distributing, training just now, and also the after sales. So any issue with the equipment and the drone itself, you can just send back to us. We can do the repair, everything locally here in Malaysia. So in terms of the cost and in terms of the timeline, is much more faster and much more convenient as the user itself to continue their kind of operation if there's some issue with their equipment. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Shazwan. So it's very clear that we have an end-to-end drone support. I guess it's not just about selling the drone, but it's also to support because it is an emerging technology, and there's a lot of trial, a lot of try and error, a lot of testing, a lot of learning ourselves as well as the clients. I have to take a pause moment because we have a question that came in online. Maybe we can get Shah to share this. So the question is, consumer drone boleh buat mapping. So consumer drone also do mapping work. Why do we need enterprise drones?
Okay, so basically the difference between consumer and enterprise is that the systems inside the equipments. So when you buy a consumer drones, what are your purpose? So let's say your purpose are to get a photo and video and to post it into social media. Then that's the things that the equipment that you are trying to look for. But then when you're trying to look for a solution service provider for an industrial, let's say surveyor or even an inspections, inspecting the telco tower, a lot of things can be done autonomously. All right. So the system autonomously has been provided, fully implemented from the DJI Enterprise instead of consumer grade. But when you look for the consumer grade, they are only providing you all a feature such as POI and also a smaller things. Let's say uh, pitching backwards and then all the simple movement. But when you look for the industrial enterprise drone, this is where you are not focusing on a simple task. You are focusing on a very defined and very complex mission planning. So when trying to utilize the equipment, the best way for getting, let's say, one scenario 3D modeling, the best mission are utilizing a 3D modeling mission from the enterprise equipment. So let's say you're trying to focus on gathering the data on the 2D map. Then there's a specific mission for from the industrial grade, where getting a map, stitching all over all the pictures together in order to get the map, or auto mosaic, let's say. So this is where the industry equipments will be utilized. So difference between consumer grade, major difference, I would say all of you might already know this, is only the pricing. But let's look behind the price. So why the price is very different and why the price of industry drones are much higher is that a lot of things can be done from the industry operation. So I think that's from my opinion. Yeah.
So thanks for that, Shafiq. Yeah, so thanks for the question online as well. I think it's really right to say that drones is a tool. It's really what we are looking for. Let's say, like what you mentioned, if it's a lot more complex, we do need a more complex to execute the project. All right. So there are a few more questions online, but we'll hold it until the end, and we'll continue the panel session. So do continue to keep the comments and the questions coming. All right. I think this question for Shazwan, since you've been around in the drone industry for a while, I think what the audience would like to know as well, is there any unexpected ways, besides maybe wildlife, elephant monitoring, any other unexpected ways your end users are currently using drones?
Any unexpected ways
Or
of
maybe something that you
utilizing a drone?
found very interesting, very exciting, yeah, or very useful.
Okay, I think there's another one I can think of is this one. It's not, I would say, yeah, it's quite interesting. Where this one they use a drone for surveillance. Where what I mean by surveillance is they want to check any smuggling happening. Smuggling.
Oh, smuggling happening.
Smuggling,
Okay.
yeah, very suspicious activities across the river. So what the user require, that's their objective. Okay, so what kind of a solution that we provide is, sorry. What solution we provide is we create a docking system solution for them, where they just put the docking system drone on their rooftop, because their premise is quite near to their river. So that's why they are the authority. They need to check very frequent any kind of suspicious activity, like just now for the smuggling, because there's a few hotspots there that are quite frequent happen. So that's why they are using a drone with a docking system. We can set a schedule, kind of for operations.
Interesting.
So very specific time, the drone will be deployed and check whether there's any like suspicious activity, of course. So if do have, then they can overtake and the operator can do what the next decision, like they know the location, the pinpoint, they have a video for the evidence. Since they already have the pinpoint just now, they can tell their ground team to do the inspection and check what's going on there, up, down there. Yeah, so it's a very, literally it's a command center docking system that are very interesting, kind of a solution that
Yeah,
we provide
that
to them.
definitely sound very interesting. So, if I heard it correctly, it's a docking system, like a nesting drone system, right?
Yes, correct.
So maybe I'll pass this a related question to Shafiq. If we are looking at new technologies, like for example in a smuggling application and all this, how do we ensure safety and reliability? Because no longer you have a drone pilot commanding it, manually. Are there any safety systems or reliable, like fail-safe systems that is useful?
Okay, so when referring to the nesting drones, I would say docking solutions, like Sean just talk about. So the system that has been provided from that equipment is that they have a let's look at the design of the dock tree. So when you look at the design of dock tree, there's a little bit a roof shaped on top. This is where, in order to let the the rain water flow to go down smoothly, and then there's also a wind gauge, a camera surrounding to provide a surrounding monitoring around the docking system, and then also a rain gauge to know whether the rain are very heavy or there's no rain at all. So that is from the dock itself. But when we look at the drones, the equipment, the drones inside the dock, is that this drone has a lot of safety features. One of it is that when it is lost, it has a lost signal. This is where the drone will automatically go back to where it previously take off, meaning it will be landing back to the dock itself. So that is one. Another point is that when it comes to obstacle, so there is a fisheye shaped camera surrounding the drones itself. This is where the obstacles comes into play. So let's say if the drones are trying to operate manually or even autonomously and almost hit the obstacle in front or even at the side, this is where the system will utilize the power where defining the obstacle from the system, and then providing information and execute the drone itself to stop instead of proceeding towards the where we want to go. So the drone will automatically stop when it detects the obstacle. And there's one more, which is an additional equipment, which is the payload. I would say payload or PSDK. This is where we attach one module on top of the drones. It is so-called CSM LiDAR obstacle sensor module. So not only from the vision to detect the obstacle, but also from the LiDAR, providing a laser to know the distance between the obstacles. So maybe providing a two additional obstacle sensor would be much safer. This is where in order to reduce the risk of getting crashed of your equipments, providing it two solutions of obstacle sensors is the best. So that is from drones, and one of it is from the dock system itself. Yeah, pretty
So
much.
that's very detailed. I think when technology advances, it's good to know that manufacturers as well as end users and ourselves are also looking at, ensuring that the equipment is safe. We do test all the fail-safe systems as well. So we are coming to the end of the panel, but we do have a few questions that came in, quite a few questions. I will pick a few questions, but if we didn't manage to get through to you, we will do answer you online as well. So this is a very short question, maybe just for Shazwan. Consumer drone boleh repair juga ke? Because you mentioned about after-sales service. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for the after sales, right? When we talk about the DJI, their system is quite in term externally quite almost the same. So in terms of repair, we appointed as the after sale for the enterprise version. So any enterprise drone from the DJI, we can do that. But for the consumer, I'm not really focusing on that, but we still can do that. We can do all the repair.
Okay, so the short answer is yes, do reach out to us. We will see what we can do for you. Right, so the next question is, what is the current trend we can see in the drone industry of Malaysia in terms of applications? So like maybe applications that are more common or applications that are new. Maybe Shafiq or Shazwan, you want to answer that?
Can you just repeat the question
Yeah,
again?
what are some of the trends that you see in terms of applications? So maybe I can share a little bit. I think yesterday someone came and asked about window cleaning. So increasingly, I think there's a lot of inquiries about window cleaning. Is there anything that you would like to share, like some applications that are, maybe up and coming?
I think more and more, the technology adoption on the drone itself, there's a lot of way the application kind of expanding. I think like you mentioned just now, the cleaning for the mirror, right? So I think there's some use case that quite famous. I think in Dubai area where they use a drone to carry like their hose and spray for the cleaning. So I think in the Dubai area there's a lot of very high tower. So they can use a drone as an alternative to do all the cleaning. But what I'm trying to say is that since the awareness start to be more kind of aware through the market itself, so more people kind of know, oh, the technology of the drone not only just taking picture and video, what I mentioned before this, but there's a lot more into it. So that's why they are starting a lot of new kind of a solution evolving with the drone adoptions. So, for example, like the AI detection. So there's a lot of AI kind of technology in the market right now. So drone, of course, is not behind of it. So they adopt the AI technology into the drone itself. So what it can do, for example, is that they call it AI detections. So, for example, like the public safety kind of application, they can use this function AI function to detect human. Okay, they can do all the tracking to make sure,
So
oh,
if
there's a,
there's an intrusion, it can be
yeah, for
detected.
example, like the intrusion, the smuggling activity I mentioned just now, they can utilize these AI detections for the safety of the public, of course, for us again. So not only that, there's a tracking, and then if we talk about the construction side AI function, they can do like comparisons before and after the progressing map. So there's a lot of application that I can talk about with on this kind of adoptions. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's definitely very exciting to know that people are also looking out at new application like what Shazwan mentioned, because the awareness of the industry, awareness of technology has increased, and people get a little bit more creative, and then they will think of new ideas. All right, so we have a very good question as an ending question from the audience, which is, in the next 5 years, how do you see drone technology evolving, and is it already advancing beyond what we once thought logical?
Okay, let's look at the first thing. Let's look at the consumer side. So when utilizing the drones from the consumer view, is that there's a new things that has been done from the consumer side where a lot of drones will be arranged together in order to shape during the ceremony or celebration. You know, when they take off during the night and then they show this light
So the drone
with
light,
the shape.
the
Yeah,
drone light
that's
shows.
yeah. So pretty much that's the consumer side. That's what they're trying to implement on, and then has been developed already. Maybe there'll be more, development towards that. But now let's look at the industry. So when we're referring to the industry, is that Shazwan just mentioned about AI, and I've been thinking about this that AI is not only AI. You detect something and then that's all. You take a picture. No, AI is actually a drones where it provides a full end-to-end solutions involving the IoT. So Internet of Things can also be implemented, towards the 2032, and we can see that the market trends from the since 2010 using the drone industrial and up to 2032, there'll be in the CGSR about 23.7%. And we can see that this development of drones and technologies will be advanced. So when referring to the AI and IoT, there'll be a lot of integration together not involving the drones, but also involving all other technologies or other devices. So this is where drones comes into place. So we don't try to recognize drone is only the single equipment solution, but we try to recognize the drone as a one of the set of the full solutions throughout globally. So pretty much that's what I understand and what we try to look for globally. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sure, sure. We do have a few questions that are coming in, but I think we are pressed with time. But do leave the questions in the comment section. We will get to you after the panel. Sorry, Shazwan, continue.
So I think just to add on what Shafiq mentioned just now with the AI adoptions, full solutions, I think that's what I'm taking also. Where right now, before this, if when we try to apply the drone technology, there's a way of we need a drone pilot, of course, to fly and maneuver. And then, for example, okay, when we talk about the survey industry, so under the survey industry, we need a pilot to do the survey work. We need to do all the mission planning, and then once we done collect all the data, we need all the data being transferred to the software or to our laptop to do all the processing. So we still need a human to do all the thing, transfer it, and then do the reporting. Everything, I would say, is already efficient enough, but there's a way of make it much more efficient way, utilizing the AI. So the kind of a trend, what I'm saying right now is the adoption or easiness of usage on the industry, for example, like the survey industry, where everything now through the cloud. So you just connect the drone to the cloud system. We call it a DJI Flight Hub 2. So we can do everything pretty much on the cloud. Okay, so you don't need any like a hardware or powerful laptop to do all the processing. So what I'm trying to say, the cloud, you can do the processing, the mission planning, and then the processing, everything through that cloud in a one system. So it's very efficient, very fast, and yeah, that's why I think the heading of the adoption of the technology with the drone application.
Understand. So we hope that Shazwan and Shafiq both have answered your question about trends that we see in the drone industry. Okay, so the last question, a very short question for both the two gentlemen here to bring back to Drone Tech Asia is what is one sentence that you can share to the audience to inspire them about the drone industry? Okay, or to join the drone industry, what kind of skill sets you think is needed? So you could choose either one of the questions, and I'll just share to the audience.
Okay, so one word I would say if you want to involve with the drone technology, the adoptions, is to be adventurous. Okay, so you need to explore a new kind of technology adoption because drone is part of the technology that we have in the market. So out there, there's a lot of new advancement, new exploration, new technology being discovered. Then that will be adopt on the drone itself. So as a person, we need to be more adventurous and know what the current trend and adoption that going on. That's where we can see where the heading of the technology. So we can be more prepared on that. Yeah. So be more adventurous and know the market trend. Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for that. Adventurous. So be curious, take adventure, take some risk, and
Yeah.
explore. All right. Thank you, Shazwan. What about you, Shafiq?
So I think for youngsters to know about drones is that don't worry. Since the coming up of the years, following up of the years, the new technologies of drone will be implemented. So there'll be a lot of job scope will be available for you all. Utilizing the drones operation. So there's always a opportunity for you all. That's from the youngsters. But for you all to know is that it is crucial to know a technology are advancing. So why not we all following up the trend of the technology development? This is where you will not tend to left behind and all your businesses will not falling behind from other competitors. So when referring to competitors, once they find out the sweet spot, the technologies that have been advancing, and you are left behind, Now this is the time where you are trying to, catch up and try to not, gain up the capability, or I would say the advancement of the technologies instead of your competitors. Yeah, so that's all for me. Yeah. The one point is that one word, follow up the technology, adapt technology. Yes.
So
Yeah.
Shafiq's word is adapt,
Yeah.
so that you don't stay behind. All right. So thanks
So,
so much, Shazwan and Shafiq. Again, we are at Drone Tech Asia 2025. Thanks for the live audiences as well as the people here. And yeah, we hope you enjoy the rest of the exhibition. Thank you very much.